This is inside of our room, and what we get inside of here for full-size bathroom, shower, full-size refrigerator, and freezer. It came with the microwave.
$1,500 a month, $50 a night. So lately, there has been a growing number of people proudly proclaiming on the internet that they no longer live in an apartment, but a hotel instead. No leases, no utilities, no surprise maintenance issues, just a room, a key card, and a monthly total that is in a lot of cases cheaper than rent. And honestly, I find it all kind of fascinating. In some situations, even low-key brilliant. Today, we're gonna take a closer look at hotel living.
I live in a hotel room with my wife and 2 cats. Come check it out. So when you first come in, you immediately have the kitchen. Got a fridge, not full size, but close. Fit everything we need in there. Got the kitchen.
This is a hotel? What hotel is this? This looks straight up like an apartment. Look at the size of that kitchenette. It even has a full-size fridge. I was thinking, like when I first heard about hotel living, I was envisioning people having to like deal with the little mini fridge that's, you know, by the dressers and stuff. That's a full-blown kitchen. It even has a stovetop there and a microwave built into the freaking cabinetry.
We have our different little appliances, all our stuff, not stuff the hotel gave us, well, other than the microwave. Got the stove top, you know, got our little dish center over here. We got our oven that I got us. We've got this little center right here with our mini fridge, our dry storage, canned goods, all that stuff. Back over here to the left by the front door, we've got the bathroom. All our hygiene supplies, you know, we kind of made it our own with our own little shelves. Got shelves up in the shower to hold our stuff. You know, the toilet, which I actually put a bidet on. Yep, I'm living in a hotel and put a bidet on my toilet. And then you come over here to the bedroom, king size bed, so that's nice. That's where the magic happens, if you know what I mean. And then we got the closet area right here. Storage up there. We got stuff stored underneath the bed. Then we come over here to the dresser with the TV. Got the PlayStation behind it. We got our kitty Jasper here running around. Got one of the cat trees here. And then we got my gaming table, my gaming chair. And then right here behind, I got where I put our shoes, both hers and mine, my hats. Then we got our storage area for TikTok shop products. This is full. All those are full. That's full. This is the living room right here. We got the litter box. We got the other little dresser with the smaller TV, another cat tree, you know, the window view right there. And then we've got the pull-out couch with the little table, another chair in here. And then in the back corner is my wife's altar where she does her magical things. So that's it, everybody.
Oh, I'm speechless. I could live there. I could literally live there. If I didn't have kids, I could live there. Wow, how much does he pay? Okay, here he is in the comment section. He says that they pay $667 a week. Okay, so $667 a week sounds a bit much, right? That's $1,350 every 2 weeks, $2,700 a month. $2,700 a month, depending on where he lives, could be a little bit steep per square footage. However, he's got no utilities. There's no lease. He's got free parking. He's got free Wi-Fi. He's got free water. And he probably feels pretty freaking safe because there's so many barriers to entry to get into his apartment. I don't know where he lives, but $2,700 a month for all bills paid and you're perfectly comfortable and you can leave anytime you want, no credit checks, no obligations. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So I'm in the Wichita area, Wichita, Kansas, where cost of living is typically lower. I'm sure that, you know, you could find a comparable studio apartment somewhere in the Wichita area for maybe $800 a month. But I know that some places, a studio apartment that size could be $2,000 to $3,000 alone. So depending on where he lives, which clearly he doesn't want to say, which is fine, we're going to respect that. For $667 a week, you know you have a guaranteed roof over your head and you're perfectly comfortable. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
This is the hotel that I reserved from November 17th, 2025 till May 17th, 2026, which is a total of 6 months, and it's going to cost me $8,094.14. No, I do not have to pay all that up front. I can either pay $307 a week or I can pay the $1,228 a month. You can even pay every 2 weeks. It really is up to you. Your total amount is your total amount.
So this is the first lady that I saw. Her name, I believe, is Mandy Bowers. She's the first one that I saw really promoting hotel living, and she has been doing a lot of educating on hotel living because she has been doing it for so long. I think she had said that she and her husband have been hotel living for 2 years now, and what they're doing is they're living in a hotel and saving up their money so that they can buy land and put a tiny house on it, I believe is what she has said. But for 6 months of having a roof over her head, she's going to go just over $8,000. And she has this tagged Tampa. So I think that means that she's in Florida, unless she's just like tagged a random area. I don't know. But $300 a week to have a roof over your head? I'm interested to see what a room looks like.
I'm gonna take y'all inside my room. This is inside of our room, and what we get inside of here for that amount is say hey to hubby. Also, we have the full-size refrigerator and freezer. It came with the microwave.
Since when do hotels do full-size fridges? That's the part already that's blowing my mind. Every single hotel room that I've ever stayed in just had a mini fridge. Yes, I have been in hotel rooms that have full-size fridges, but those are like the more expensive suites, or they're extended stay hotels. Maybe this is extended stay. Maybe I just answered my own question here. That's wild to me though, a full-size freaking fridge. It's just like a studio. It's just like a studio.
It also came with the 2i stove burner here. We brought our own coffee pot and some extra items over here. It does come with a full-size bathroom, shower, pretty nice size. And of course it's all about how you make it, but this is what we are doing.
So last week I posted a video about my extended stay hotel room. A lot of people wanted to know about price. It's about $50 a night. So that winds up to about $350 a week, about $1,500 a month, give or take maybe $100, $200, depending on if you want 2 beds, if you have animals, etc. But just for us, we got the basic package, simple room. We pay $1,500 a month. You can pay nightly, you can pay weekly, or you can pay monthly, or you can pay 2 or 3 days at a time, whatever works best for you. We don't have any bugs. There's no cockroaches. That was a major thing for me because I'm not gonna be able to deal with cockroaches. They're very clean, you know, like I said, they're really cozy. There's not a lot of drug activity to speak of. If people are doing drugs here, you wouldn't know. There's not a lot of drama and police in and out and stuff. It's very peaceful.
$1,500 a month, $50 a night. And the flexibility. I knew that this was a thing. Obviously, I'm prepping to do this video and I'm, collecting clips and kind of looking into it and all of that. But actually just sitting down and watching the clips in its entirety and not just, like filing them away for filming this video. It's like I'm finally seeing it and I am so incredibly impressed.
This message is specifically for my people that are living in a hotel, a motel, Holiday Inn. If you have been going through your journey and living in that hotel for over 30 days, you need to take your ass up to that front desk and you need to ask them rather, to take the taxes off your room. After 30 days, you become exempt technically, but they are not going to take those taxes off unless you ask, because technically you live at the property now. You don't need to be, that's a different story. You didn't hear that from me though. You know what I'm saying? If it has been well over 30 days, 9 times out of 10, you have a credit on your reservation. But it's gonna take somebody with common sense to sit down any day after the 30 days that they've taken your taxes off And the credit literally should pop up by itself. So you might got some free days, might be a threefold, might be a week, depending on how long you've been there. But I know I just helped somebody. You look.
Oh my. So there's a comment right here. This commenter, Kelsey, says, we stayed in one for 4 months, ended up getting a refund of $2,000 when we left. And this right here, this little take the taxes off because you're a resident of the hotel, I have a very strong feeling that that is why a lot of hotels have a 28-day limit. So there are some people that I did come across, hopefully I did bookmark them, but there's a couple of people that I did come across where they talked about every 28 days they did have to vacate for one night and then they could come back. It's probably because the hotel that they are staying at has a rule to prevent this right here from happening. I bet you that this whole tax thing is exactly why that rule exists for some hotels. Not all, but some hotels.
Some of the pros and cons to living in a hotel. So let's start off with some of the pros. We're going to go with the positive outlook first. So some of those are, I didn't have to have all the deposit money. They literally wanting like first and last month's rent in a typical like 2-bedroom or even like a 1-bedroom studio here in the area. They're wanting anywhere from like $1,600 to $1,800 for some of your basic minimum move-in apartments.
Yeah, so aside from the credit checks, the application fees, because don't forget about that. I actually have a friend who just moved to the area and she needed to rent an apartment or a house or something. Everywhere was charging $50 just to apply. Just to apply. $50. And you weren't even guaranteed to get the apartment. Even just going to 2 different places and putting in an application fee, you would drop $100, let alone deposits, first or last month's rent. That's a big chunk of money to a lot of people. And what if you have eviction history? What if you've been down on your luck a lot? What if everything was going good for you, but then you lost your job because of COVID or something happened, or you had a separation, or you got sick and you couldn't work and then you ended up getting evicted. Now you have an eviction on your record. No landlord is going to want to rent to you. So what do? You go into a hotel living situation while you kind of build up your credit history, you stack up some cash like these people are doing, and you put that money to better use. Hotel living, I think, is probably like a temporary stepping stone for a lot of people, but it's so smart. And I think people have probably been doing this for a long time. They just don't talk about it.
I don't have to worry about my electric bill changing. If I want to turn the heat on, I turn the heat on. If I want to turn the air on, sometimes I turn the heat on just to go take a bath and get it nice and warm, just to get hot and go turn the air back on. I don't have to pay trash service. I just get my bag of trash here ready and say, hey, hubby, trash needs to go out. He can walk it right outside. They have the dumpster. I don't even have to worry what day trash pickup is. At the hotel, you can drop trash off every day. I can run a whole tub of bath water, and if I happen to let it sit too long and it gets cool, I can just let it go out and refill it. My water bill, it don't change. No, we don't have a big screen TV, but it does have cable and it has all the channels, and you can even hook your own Netflix and all the things right up to it. Internet, Wi-Fi, all I had to do was just sign in, log in, and put in my room number. If something breaks down, guess what? I don't have to fix it. I just call maintenance. Don't have to worry about cutting any grass. I have a kitchen. It may be a little smaller than most, but I can cook. Have my own coffee pot. Full-size refrigerator and freezer. We don't even have roaches. I only have to worry about one bill a week. And for $307, that's what that includes. Now, here's the negatives, here's the cons. Honestly, really, the only one is it's just not our shit. That's it, and that's all. But with that being said, we are going to be looking forward to getting property and still doing our tiny house. But for now, yep, we're cool, we're chilling, we're kicking it here in a hotel for $307 a week, and we're okay with that.
The pros were definitely longer than the cons, but you know, exactly what she said. One of the primary cons, which is what any renter faces, you're putting money into something that's not yours, but you're gonna get that whether you're in an apartment, you're renting a house, you're in a townhome. If you don't own it, then you don't own it. So what makes the hotel any worse than just renting an apartment? Aside from the space, but if it's just two of you, seems like more than enough to me.
No, I do not have to move out after every 30 days. Some of them do want a $100 deposit when you move in. However, once you build up and you are a part of the rewards program and stuff, they don't even bother you for the deposit if they know that you're the one that's going to take care of their stuff when you move out and you're going to leave it the same way that you found it. We didn't have to do a credit check, background check. I didn't have to prove 3 times the amount of rent, and I didn't need $3,000 to $4,000 just to move in. We are in the panhandle of Florida, so it's also going to vary per state. However, if you go on and reserve the room for over 180 days, you do get a discount at the end. You do not have to pay it all up front. That is the amount that you're going to divide by weeks that you're staying, and that's going to give you your total amount.
This person commented, been in an extended stay for 5 months for work, $45 a month and no taxes. So the one thing that the hotel employee had said about telling them to take the taxes off, this person right here is claiming that they have done that. They don't pay taxes because they've been staying there so long. And notice how she said something about the 28-day rule. If you are considering doing something like this, that's definitely something that you need to be asking them is, you know, if you're going to have to vacate after 28 days. Again, not all hotels have this rule, but some do, just to prevent you from having occupancy so that they don't have to do this whole tax thing, I think.
Here's my total amount, and that is for 2 weeks. I went ahead and paid for 2 weeks. And now I'm going to show y'all what the room looks like before I come in, give them all their stuff back, and completely do a rehaul and make this room to where it's going to be comfortable because I reserved it now until May 17th. Of 2026, that's 182 days I reserved this room for. This is the fridge. We have it's going to be a full-size refrigerator.
So it looks like she did have to check out and then check back in. I don't know exactly why. I don't know if maybe this hotel only lets you reserve for 6 months in advance, because the last time she had, you know, given us a tour where everything was all like decked out and stuff, she had said that she reserved it for 6 months and now she has reserved another one for 6 months. So they might honestly do that too, just to make sure that the wear and tear on the hotel room itself is not excessive. Because if you know, if someone rents a house for 5 years, there's normal wear and tear. You kind of want to spread people around so that you're not like doing excess wear and tear on the property and all of that. So I don't know if there's just like a 6-month rule with this particular hotel or whatever, but extremely fascinating. So what I have noticed, but a lot of these people that have the full-size fridges and everything, they are staying at extended stay hotels. So extended stay hotels are probably having different policies from regular hotels, which is a good thing. Because one of those questions that I always had when considering this way of living is, will hotels catch on and just simply raise the prices? I think regular hotels might, but extended stay hotels probably not so much, because extended stay hotels are used to people staying there for long periods of time. They might be traveling for work. They might be waiting on closing on a house or something. Extended stay hotels are set up for people to stay there longer term. So do I personally think that this whole hotel living thing might raise prices? I don't really think so. I think that a lot of hotels will price things based off of what their customers are willing to pay. And if they raise it too much, they would, you know, run the risk of losing customers. But I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, while you're down there, let me know, would you ever do this? This really does seem like a smart alternative in this economy. Do you think that this is a really good idea, or do you think that it's something that works only until it doesn't? Let me know your thoughts, because this trend could definitely have way more questions than answers. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like and appreciate content like this while you're down there doing all the things. Also, double check and make sure that you are subscribed and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.